Fabulous Tales and Fables ASAP by Owen T. Duggan. Story 5. Good Landlord, Bad Tenants. Second part. One cloudy day on the road to the city trudged the landlord's tenants. About 2 families of them. Ahead of their open-top, horse-drawn cart rolled another cart. A darker, longer, rectangular, closed-top one that must have come from places far away to bear exotic wares to the people in the city. Traveling close to merchants felt safer. However, the tenants were not safe enough. A band of raiders on horseback had come. The band of raiders surrounded the tenants' cart, forcing it to a halt. The foreign cart, the large dark one, rolled onwards without a care. Maybe its drivers counting themselves lucky not to be targeted.
"Give us a taste of your wine,"
the raiders demanded of the traveling tenants.
"We're thirsty, and we can see you are carrying wine because of that grinning grape man engraved on those barrels. And don't trick us, or we'll kill the half of you and carry off the rest to sell as sex slaves. Don't think we won't do it."
The chief of the raiders aggressively seized and popped the plug of a barrel. He guzzled, then coughed, nearly choking.
"What?"
he sputtered.
"This isn't vintage wine inside like it promises on the out. It's only grape juice. Not even good grape juice. You tricked us!"
He broke into a rage. After killing half the tenants on the spot, the raiders roped up the rest to sell as sex slaves.
"What about the other wagon?"
a raider asked.
"If we hurry, we can pillage that one too. Maybe they have wine." "That would be my idea. Let's do it."
The established chief ordered his closest rival to guard the prisoners, which is the kind of thing chief raiders have to do to sustain the upper hand among backstabbing thugs. Taking all the horses, the band of raiders, minus the outspoken, ambitious rival leader, chased down and stopped the other cart. That turned out to be their biggest mistake. Now, the dark, closed-top cart had only a few men and one family to protect it. They didn't resist. They cooperated. What could they do if they wanted to survive? Pull some kind of magic trick or something? The chief raider demanded to know what lay within. Was there any wine in there? His men were thirsty for it. A chief must provide. The merchants had a kind of chief as well. He spoke somewhat dramatically. He was kind of weird.
"We come from a land far away, bearing wares to the lords of the city. But if I tell you what comes out is far more dangerous than what goes in, will you believe me? Have a look within yourself, and whether there is blood-red wine, or red wine blood, foods for gods, or plain good food for good simple folk, as you yourselves once were, in a time past, perhaps. This at least I tell. No one is in there. Okay? We're all out here, as you see. Go ahead. You are in charge."
"Yeah, whatever, major loser,"
said the chief, dismounting his horse, drawing cruel laughter from his minion.
"You think you're so clever? You think you're a wise man? Be wise and don't lie to us. If nobody's in there, I'll let you live. If you tricked us, you're all dead. That is, either we'll kill you or sell you as sex slaves. Whichever is worse."
And the impatient lead thug put on a show before his men that he was, without contest, the single most vicious among them, and the most able to take charge. He smiled crazily, unpredictably, like the grape head engraving, his ragged hat flapping like big grape leaves. Appearing fearless, he grinned back at the followers and dared, not bothering with caution, to enter the dark wagon, never to see daylight again. Too bad for the chief. Something vicious was already inside the cart, something far more dangerous than he. "Hey," said the next raider, noticing a strange disturbance from within. "What's happening in there?" The raiders, standing alert, drew sabers, nice weapons for a horseman. One led aside all their horses by the reins, while some raiders monitored the corralled travelers in case they made a move. Two others, sabers drawn, but on the verge of panic, poised to enter the cart. "You," said a raider to a half-grown boy, the youngest, "you go in there first, and bring out our chief, alive and well, without so much as a scratch on him." Instead of doing that, the boy darted around the cart. Sabers whizzed, though not even close to grazing him. One raider grabbed his tunic and swung him violently, but he slipped away, leaving the tunic. Though small, the lad was very quick. He very much wished to live. Also quick, but rather the opposite of small, was a pair of absolutely massive, full-grown tigers, which now pounced out of the dark depths of the cart. The tigers viciously mauled two raiders. An open battle erupted. Raiders, merchants, and tigers fought. The horses panicked and stampeded through humans, then bolted, vanishing like a blast of wind. The draft horses, harnessed to the cart, also panicked and plowed over some people. The cart, now much less heavy, was drawn unstoppably down the road, the only passenger, by then, being something unusual. It was a solitary, exotic bird that had been huddling safely out of sight atop the cart. On the horizon, the floppy-plumed bird took flight as a spastic silhouette. Meanwhile, in the frenzied bloodlust of battle, the tigers definitely got ambitiously, viciously carried away, such that, as road dust settled, every human being lay bloody and dead. The two tigers stood victorious, covered in sand and gore. It would have been a sight too shocking, but, mercifully, all human beings were spared, and that includes us. That is to say, all were spared the horror of seeing it, since no witness survived, or could have survived, had they been there that day. And yet, as dominant as the giant felines proved themselves able to get, they had so far never a powerful enchantress met.